How's it going? Welcome to the channel. The idea for this prompt is pretty simple. You live on a sunflower. Apparently sunflowers following the sun through the day only applies to immature flowers. But I had already bought this myth that they moved when I got this idea. If you like drawing, pause the video here and try to make a few different design ideas off of this prompt. What I'm thinking is that it's a house suspended on the underside of the flower, so that when the flower moves throughout the day, the house stays upright. Anyway, let's get to it. I started off with some quick practice with references to understand the basic shapes of the flowers. I noticed that I should probably be rotating my canvas a little bit more. I can only really make really clean brush strokes with a few different directions, so rotating the canvas into the direction that I'm most comfortable with really helps. Next up, I want to design the house that I mentioned earlier. Something I noticed about drawing the flower petals is that when you are drawing the petals near the edge, you need to make them thinner. This helps to give the impression that they were wrapping around the flower, or at least I think so. It probably sounds a little bit obvious, but you'd be surprised at how many things like this I miss normally. I gave myself 4 little designs to make some ideas for the house. I think they progressively got a bit better. The lab had a bunch of hard forms, doing stuff like perspective with boxes. It's something I'm not particularly practiced in, so hopefully Draw a Box will help me improve in this regard. For now though, even though some of the shapes are questionable quality, I'm happy with the design itself. Finally, I decided to go with the last design. I sketched it out on the flower in a bigger version so that I could add a little bit more detail. Overall, I think that this was really good practice. I don't actually do a lot of actual designing, so doing more of that I think will help stretch my creativity. It's also just really fun. This last part is highly experimental for me. I was kind of doing it just because I want to start thinking in a more painterly fashion. I gave myself a loose time limit, and I had to set out to block out the idea I had for this other design with only colors. I'm used to coloring inside my line art, kind of like a coloring book style. But what I want to do is practice more like this. I'm really impressed with a lot of the digital art that some people are able to make with various brushes and getting cool lighting effects. Maybe I'll look into different brushes to help me achieve these types of lighting later. Until then though, I think I'll stick with some exercises similar to this. Basic blocking out of shapes with colors so I can practice the difference in contrast. It's very different to make a shape out of lines than it is to make a shape out of 2 different colors. Either way, next time maybe I'll give myself a little bit more time, or I'll make it so that I don't have to make such a complex idea. It is probably best to start with the basics, but I also think it's pretty important to try to pursue the ideas that you envision. Anyway, this end result is definitely very rough. I got a lot of stuff to practice with this type of exercise. Anyway, those were my designs for the given prompt. I hope you